First up tonight, holiday deals on housing. Real estate mogul Don Peebles returns. We've got the scoop from a titan on how to wrap up your best deal ever. Let's go straight to the mogul himself, Chairman and CEO of Peebles Corporation, Don Peebles. Don, we are so thrilled to have you back because our audience loved you last time. I think a lot of people don't know that this is one of the busiest weeks of the year for deals, that there are a lot of people out there that are trying to get things done and trying to get things closed, especially before the end of the year. What's the best way to approach a deal this time of year?
Well, great. Look, one, it's good to be back. Now's a good time to get deals done because, one, banks that are holding real estate that they've taken back during the recession through foreclosure, they are looking to get these properties off of their books by year end. One, they report to the regulators, and two, their stockholders. And also home builders that have any backlog of inventory of completed product or product that is near completion. They're again looking to finish the fourth quarter strong and continue the upward mobility of their stock. And so if you're out here buying today, those are the two places to go.
Wow.
Lender-owned properties and home builders.
Yeah, if you're a buyer. If you're a seller, is there a reason you'd want to do it before the end of the year? I mean, is it tougher to sell your home in January?
No, actually, if you're a seller, now's not the time to sell because unless you're going to do a 1031 exchange where you're going to defer your gain, you might as well sell in January, February, where you have a year to pay your taxes. Because if you sell in December, you'll be paying your taxes April 15th, as opposed to if you sell in January, then you've got the use of that money for essentially almost a year and 4 months.
Very nice. Good tip. Let me ask you to react to some of the news of the day. Housing permits hit their highest level since 2008. Unfortunately, when you dissect the data, most of the gains are coming in multi-family homes. What do you make of that?
Well, it's showing you where the market expansion is taking place and where the recovery is. It's in highly populated gateway cities. New York, Miami are leading the charge, and now Los Angeles is also strong. San Francisco's been strong for a while. Washington, D.C. is pretty strong as well. All of those have high populated areas and significant barriers to entry in terms of availability of land and also highly regulated environments. And so therefore, the only thing to develop is multifamily. And that was the inventory that got sold the quickest during the recession and post-recession were unsold condos. And so that's not surprising. And I think the single family is going to trail for another 6 months to a year, I would think.
So does that mean if you're an investor, you want to get into renting, you want to get into apartments, that single family isn't where it's at?
No, I think single family is where there's still some opportunity because you don't see as much momentum right now. And also where you want to go is one in those gateway markets where there's going to still be some significant upside because none of those markets have come back to pre-recession prices. And real estate over a 10-year period will outperform inflation on an annualized basis. So we still have in the marketplace all the appreciation to get us to a recovery back to where we were in 2007, plus about 6 years of appreciation since then. So there's a lot of room to grow in all sectors of the market, but especially those areas where there's a lot of barriers to entry.
You know, just to demonstrate to our audience, in case they didn't know what a huge player you are, you have some really big residences going up in Miami Beach right now, the Bath Club estates. I think we've got some pictures of those. Are you worried? I mean, what do you think are the headwinds out there right now? Because these are monster blockbuster facilities. There's a lot of pressure.
Well, you know what's interesting? The most expensive properties are selling the fastest. If you look at Manhattan, $10,000, $12,000 a square foot is selling very well. In Miami, $2,000, $3,000 a square foot selling very well. The high end, which has been relatively insulated, has been on the market for a while looking for that limited product. So the high end is where there's a lot of strength because there's not a lot of inventory and there's a growing amount of affluent buyers around the world, especially in the U.S. And other emerging markets that love the U.S. and love, say, South Florida, for example. Miami's a hot place globally, and it's emerging as a global gateway city.
But as a businessman, I mean, does that make you feel like the high end is where you've seen the strength? Maybe that's getting played and it's the other areas where there's opportunity, or no, you don't think that the other cheaper housing is coming back anytime soon?
Oh, I do. In fact, downtown in Miami right now, we're working on, market rate workforce housing through another subsidiary of our company. We have 2 blocks of land in downtown Miami where we'll do market rate rentals for workforce for those who are working downtown. What's happening is the mid-market and that in the upscale luxury market, the $2–3 million market, that's where there's a lot of difficulty because there have been a lot of jobs lost there. The workforce and mid-market, there's a lot of strength there, and we see that expanding as well, especially as credit becomes more available. And I think that's something clearly that the Obama administration is focused on now, is how to get the regulators to send the message to the lenders that they want them to make loans to qualified Americans so they can buy houses.
Well, how do you think they do that? I mean, you think they do that by attacking J.P. Morgan and going after them and levering huge fines on them and taking away their capital? I mean, you feel like that's going to help you down the road?
No, that's not the right approach. Also, though, we do have to have a regulatory environment that enforces the rules. But what we should be spending a lot of energy on is letting the lenders know that they can make judgment calls when it comes to borrowers who are qualified, who perform, who have the income there, to make credit more available to them. And then if we see that, then you'll see those permit numbers increase when it comes to single-family homes, because it's the average consumer, the middle-income American, that's going to buy in that market sector.
Real quick before you go, consumer confidence hitting a 7-month low today. Does that make you nervous?
A little bit. Yeah, it does a little bit because, you know, again, what is happening is Americans are frustrated with what's going on in the government, especially in this last shutdown of the government. Unemployment still is significant, and job growth is still somewhat stagnant. And so we need to see more job growth for greater confidence. But I think that ultimately, you know, the economy is getting some tailwind now, and I think we'll see some pickup here. The private sector, certainly on the real estate sector, we're going to see construction jobs pick up even more as we go into the first and second quarter of next year.
Yeah. There was a lot I wanted to ask you about in that, but we're out of time. Don Peebles, I hope you'll come back.
Absolutely. Love being here. Thank you very much for having me.
Up next, we all know